setting dulu buat di apa namanya apa nih namanya YouTube-nya. Sabar ya. Salah. Kita live ininya kita bagikan dulu. Tadi kita ke sini share link. Ada nanti mute aja lah. Bentar adik-adik sabar. Tadi sebenarnya aku udah main ya, tapi apa namanya lupa live aja. Udah sampai ke sih ya. Pokoknya yang di apa tembak-tembakan cok pusing banget kepala gue. Sebenarnya dari awal aja sih, tapi kayak asyik malas aja gitu loh. Udah bikin misi, udah apa namanya udah nyelesain misi dari tadi, masa kita udah dari awal aja gitu lah.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Time to dance with the devil! You working for Wyatt Earp? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me? Hiding like a scared motherfucker!
Prossesor gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Biar sekalian apa namanya? Kalian grafik juga biar FPS-nya tinggi, jadi kan atas FPS-nya kecil jauh. Kecil FPS-nya.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick, as the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Besides, George is up there on the right.
My late father pointed out to me more than once. God made men. Samuel Colt made them eat. I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments.
You're dead!
Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith.
You're dead!
James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who live a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
You're done! Time to die! I'm putting you down! Time to blow your shit up.
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individual. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched. Or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere.
Watch out for the goddamn gunpowder!
I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
I think he's scared! God damn you! I'm putting you down!
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
That enough? I'm ending you! God damn! Show yourself! I'm getting the hang of this. It's you or me.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
You ain't beefing me. I will drop you down a mine shaft. That enough?
Quick reflexes often make up for the lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
Take that
With all that gunpowder and dynamite, a body has to know what he's shooting at. All it takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
There he is! I do not...
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged.
Get him! This is our
That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob.
About out of bullets.
And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell? was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Sota Medica salah ya. Ada.
You can't beat the innocent.
Right, well, he was a sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Udah kesini.
They're gonna bury you in a million these days. It's getting worse and worse for you, ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
Bastard!
Itu si Infinity beli servernya itu tuh.
Kabar
You ain't taking me!
Semuanya dibeli sama dia.
iya kan? Gimana? Apa yang di semua resource-nya dibeli sama Infinity. Oh.
Kacau ya. Terus aja.
Semua dan
Apa?
sama semua.
Sama. Aku download resource-nya aja kecil banget 32 resource. Masih ada Epin, aku boleh ikutan ke Jibar lah.
You can run, but you can't hide!
Tadi aku dulu di situ.
Get shot! Oh, I can shoot too!
Kamu kenapa?
Why not just give up?
Kok kamu nangis? Kenapa? Tayang-tayang. Itu tidak sama ayang.
Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Kamu segalanya terpisah. Tetap cintakanmu.
Pak.
Memang tak suka juga apa? Main RP, Cok. Nanti dong. Apa?
That's this, you son of a bitch! I can shoot too!
Halo. Kalau aku sendirian enak kok kalau.
Iya juga.
Iyalah.
Bentar dan harus fokus dan.
Oh.
This is gonna hurt! I'm going all medieval on your ass!
Aku jadi ikutan sedih tahu. Apa bisa kita masuk?
No blood money for you today!
Catch this, you son of a bitch!
Udah ada lagi ya, terus ada Bang, gua pengen aktifasi nih, gua nggak tahu kenapa bang. Kirim.
You can't take the innocent.
Kami harus ditembak kayak IP-nya ya. Kayaknya. Si Salman menjadi tembak sama kau ya. Ayo lah. Iya si Salman tuh itu nampil nggak ada bukti.
Dia enggak gitu dan astaga. Cok sumpah. Kalau off juara yang di sini susah banget.
Iya.
Enggak dan sumpah dan aku enggak ada apa-apa.
Kalau ada apa-apa juga.
They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up.
Gak bisa
I can
loh.
shoot too. Well, that one. Gonna blow you into next week, boy. You killed an innocent man. No blood money for you today.
Game apa sih yuk itu yuk? Game apa yuk?
Kalau
Red Dead mirip Red Dead apa? Skip.
Boom! I'm going all medieval on this.
yang pas dia tuh lempar bom.
This is gonna hurt. They're gonna bury you in a million pieces. Keep pissing me off. See what it does. They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up. You kill me, or I kill you. Gonna blow you into next week, boy. Why don't you just join the circus? How you like that? Catch this, you son of a bitch! No blood money for you today! I can shoot too!
This is our goal now.
He's killed a lot of good men. This is gonna hurt. You can shoot, but can you aim? Why not just give up and die? I'm going all medieval on your ass.
What tarnation? I will drop you down a mine shaft.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold.
Kok nggak ngeliat tadi tuh ada kliknya itu loh.
And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Gila cok. Berapa kali ngulang itu misi itu?
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Pusing.
Gone.
Install dan seru dan tapi
I
nggak
went.
bisa multiplayer dan.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Harden as fast as
Ini
Ringo?
follow gimana?
Ringo was fast, but John...
Dan. Halo.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Skip BB mah. Ada.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting a bounty on John West.
Pokoknya bikin kayak bisa guys. Sekarang kan emot dari kemarin ini bener-bener mana 3 bulan sama aja.
Ini kalau di kemarin buka lagi gitu.
Apa? Iya. Iya.
Terus gitu. Terusnya enggak.
Tulisnya itu benerin dari servernya.
Kalau itu ada kendalanya terus budgetnya sampai pelaku.
Somebody kill him! Kill that stupid son of a bitch!
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me.
Udah dalam loh padahal. Keren kan?
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold out here. I'm freezing my giblets off.
Ain't right, we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this. Ain't nobody stupid enough to go after Hardin.
Damn it!
Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Send him to hell! You better hide! Kill him already!
Let the boys know we got another law dog. Dead man! That's right.
Halo. Halo.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch a cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Hey, got something! God damn him! Shoot him!
Terus. Tempatnya. Jadi. Ini dulu, aku dulu. Udah tadi gue ke sini. Masih nggak dapat. Aku tuh yang di apa tuh dari sulap tuh yang depresi yang manual. Jadi ayah loh. Enggak sih, kok biar keserakahan ingat bisa. Aku leh. Bingung leh. Pengennya jam berapa, Mak?
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Kalau manual sih nanti. Pes. Baper. Baper anu, tunggu aku kok.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Watch where you're shooting! You will rule the day! Can't get a good shot at it! Show yourself, coward! God damn him! There he is!
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
That's right!
Jadi berangkat lagi. Enggak.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived. As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Lah bang, sade.
Ya kan? Hah?
Aneh tau nih orang.
Siapa sih?
Anji.
Jangan. Kan gak ada musuh pasang, gitu apa?
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Malah mati, boy.
Lu bilang tadi kok aja.
No, wait! You didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Ya,
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer?
Aduh. Dan komen apa Dan? Masih main RP?
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best.
Si Dansky kemana? Dan. Dan.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade of Pillow. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Aduh dah. Masih kali bah. Misi terakhir
A
lagi.
bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Mumpung bagus. Supply. Berapa?
They saw me before I saw them.
Gani.
They saw me before I saw them. They saw me before I saw them. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting has started, there's no backing down. It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Ini bagus banget, ini nggak pakai ini.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of them.
find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout. Deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness. See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Oke.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Never seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued...
Dan. Lepas headset ke?
Ya bang.
Lama banget itu sini bang, kagak ngerti-ngerti orangnya.
Tahu. Hilang anjing konflikannya.
Hilang.
Tadi gua konflik hilang.
Coba besok konflik lu masukin tanpa.
Coba gua bikin baru aja.
Pak. Bikin.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
Apa? Apanya?
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place to begin and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow, I had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes look like shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there were definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly... I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that a little later. I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap. Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around me. God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem, might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened first.
Sebawa jauh, tapi nona yang putar balik.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling their job in their own damn hometown. Brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to something goes out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company!
Heroic men like him, he did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Jim Boone and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Kill him! That's right! Run! You will rule the day!
got company. Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch! Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that. Over there! Huh? That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. Daltons blew up a safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeyville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless.
There he is!
And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Don't let that asshole get away with this! What are you gonna do?
Tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did.
They ain't getting away with this.
I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. They were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens. The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape.
Cuman kena itu doang loh.
and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by himself wasn't exactly a recipe for life.
I'm gonna plant you where you stand. Send you to the boat! Come here!
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
We'll get those suckers!
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody. Except for some son of bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Get out here!
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up. Put a bullet in. Oh! Bastard! Ready to meet your maker. Gonna be loud! You ready to buy the bomb?
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Point being, I was under serious attack.
Bury him in the swamp!
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
I saw some suspicious characters running through the bush. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
Oh.
Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians?
They're Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Pusing cek, bentar ya. Aduh.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. Orton and family. I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Bury you in a million pieces. You ready to buy the farm?
Shoot, I dare you!
Those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Iya Pak Nes, dibaca komenannya. Sabar Nes, lagi fokus Nes. Set dalam udah beta aku lagi main.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. Those vigilantes who accompanied him were anywhere to be found. But among those men who were shooting,
kalah gue nih.
among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Just killed Red?
But then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played
Not
me
so
like
tough
a
after
fiddle.
all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think
So anyway...
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Bree?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Hey, got something for me?
To come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
berapa jam kita live?
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Tapi mama, saya pengen.
It was 1868 and me.
Pusing kepala saya ini. Ada. Udah ya, kita.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
Main ginian tuh malam person gini tuh nggak ya. Kalian udah ngebayangin gue dari tadi tuh pengen muntah. Main ginian tuh udah capek banget ya otak, bukan otak sih, lebih ke arah mata kita yang capek daripada main roleplay kayak kalau udah pusing Valorant. Tapi kalau ini kayak lebih ya memang itu memanjakan grafik ya gitulah, tapi men pusing men, kita butuh istirahat, mata kita butuh istirahat dan apa namanya nggak bisa dipaksain. Ya live-nya di sini aja, makasih ya teman-teman tadi stay di sini lah live, dan makasih banget yang udah like, jangan lupa subscribe ya. Oke, makasih, see you in the next stream guys, goodbye.